afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Business Today, and of course to our final run-up of the day. This is going to be from now on 1.5 hour show. Let's look at how markets are structured at this point of time. The Nifty is back in the green. This was supposed to be a fairly weak start, but so far the index has climbed back from its intraday low of about 23,350 and is now clicking away merrily 33 points higher. The Nifty Bank, which was down about 400 points in the morning, is now back up in the green, 51,678, as also the IT index, which had dipped very sharply, but good buying support emerging at lower levels, and a good strong green tick on the broader markets as well. We had started in the morning with 19 indices, all 19 of them were in the red, but now a strong bout of buying at lower levels has changed the sentiment. The top gainer, the Nifty Mid Cap Select Index, is up 1%, 12,282. You have a green tick in the auto space, the FMCG space. The broader indices, Nifty 500, 200 and 100 are also in the green, and as of now 1260 stocks on the National Stock Exchange show a color green compared with 1024. With that broad understanding of the market, let's look at sectors that have stocks that have outperformed as far as good strong rally is concerned, and primarily today's gainers are from the holding company part of the market. Stocks like Bombay Burma, stocks like Pilani Investments, so on and so forth. So that's the kind of move that's coming in as far as the unknown sectors are concerned. And of course within the known space you have stocks such as Garden Reach Shipbuilders, up 8% at 1780 rupees, a very strong news flow and an order flow of about $54 million to make 4 ships by a foreign customer is boosting this particular counter. Within the railway space, which was buzzing ahead of the annual budget, you have many stocks such as RVNL, such as IRFC, such as Railtel, all up between 3.5%, 4%, and a very strong volume flow as well. Within the most active counters, ladies and gentlemen, you have cash counters which are showing more activity than Nifty or FNO stocks, and let me just name a few. RVNL has a volume of about 1539 crores. Hindustan Aeronautics has a volume of about 1398 crores, and Mazgaon and Garden Reach have a volume of 1170 plus 1131 crores. So the action is back, ladies and gentlemen, on defense as also on railway counters. Our guest for today for the first half hour of trade is Mr. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, Group Chairman at IndiTrade Capital. Namaskar and good afternoon to you, Sudeep ji. It's such a pleasure to host you as always back again. Let's start with how June is ending and morphing into July. What are your expectations from the budget which is there late next month, and also from the markets over the next 15-20 days?
Shalaji, I think its market is morphing, use the right term, in a very, very positive manner. At every dip we are seeing buying. Today also we saw the same phenomenon. Markets were opened down and then gradually markets start inching up. And in spite of this week being the weekly FNO closure and things like that, we're seeing the positive momentum back in the market. The way we look at it, the market, there is tremendous amount of liquidity which is chasing the market, and that flow of liquidity is continuing unabated. It's both domestic as well as international. And as long as this liquidity supply remains, I think Indian markets don't need to look back. There will be volatility, there will be dips, but after every dip, we have been seeing and we will continue to see a lot of buying. As far as expectations before budget is concerned, I think we will continue to witness volatility. I think that's something we have to get used to it. But couple of factors we need to watch carefully even before budget. One would be corporate results. They will start coming from towards the end of first week of July. They will start coming, and since the budget is towards the last half of the month, we will have a lot of corporate results before that. So market will take cues from that. The other most important thing which the market will see and monitor is the monsoon. Of course, the quantum, the progress, the distribution, whole lot of things will be known by then and analyzed by then, because we will be in end July when we sit for the budget. So the nature of the monsoon, the success, or the how the spread has been, everything will be by and large known by then. So we will be much wiser when we sit for the budget as far as the current events are concerned. And we'll, of course, look forward to some good measures, fiscal prudence, and some relief for the taxpayers, definitely in the budget.
Absolutely. I love this phrase, fiscal prudence, Sudeepji. And let me just sort of dig you in as far as fiscal prudence is concerned. This year's national elections have sent an unambiguous message that there is stress in the rural landscape, which perhaps the government may have overlooked in favor of capital expenditure on urban India as well as corporate India. Now, given the fact that a lot of steps have been taken by Modi 3.0 after assuming charge towards ameliorating rural stress, what percentage of the budget do you think will now be aimed at rural India, and will it be at the cost of corporate India?
Well, Shilji, the way I look at it, government has got a bonus this year. RBI gave a fantastic dividend. So the about 1 lakh crore worth of money incrementally came to Government of India, which was not expected, which was not a part of the plan. Now, as long as they keep the fiscal measures for supporting rural India within that limit, I don't think the balance will be disturbed, and I don't think we should worry too much about that. And we have to remember, while we talk about fiscal prudence and discipline, we have to remember that these measures supporting the rural India, supporting the Bharat part of India, does go on and help the consumption story, does help the FMCG, consumer durable, and whole lot of other sector, and bring a positive momentum in the economy. So we should not look at it negatively. And to my mind, as long as this distribution is restricted to the incremental income which the government made through RBI dividend, we should be okay.
Fair point. I think I should rephrase my question. Rural India is not at the cost of corporate India, and vice versa. It's a balance that the government has to strike, and I'm sure as Sir mentions, this will be a very good exercise in terms of balancing priorities, necessities, as also wants and needs as far as markets are concerned. Sudeepji, with the benefit of hindsight which you have of the last 30 years, I wish to understand capital allocation at this point of time. How much of cash do you think portfolio holders of the longer term should have as a percentage of equity assets ahead of the budget?
Well, I think if you're asking about how much percentage cash one should continue to retain at this stage, my suggestion will be it's always good to have 15 to 20% in cash, just because of the fact that you may need it for contingency A, and B, there may be opportunity presenting yourself suddenly. There can be so many events globally, and we have seen this happening time and again over the years. Suddenly, there is a major event and the market crashes. Now, we've witnessed over the years, and as you rightly say, over the last 30, 40 years, that after every crash, and if you have bought during that crash, you have benefited handsomely. Yes. Because, look, Indian economy is strong. Indian economy is going to chug along, irrespective of what happens. These temporary blips are a great opportunity to buy for long-term benefit. So yes, 15-20% keeping cash in hand is worthwhile, but one has to also remember that don't keep too much money in hand, because economy is moving, markets are moving, and there are fantastic returns which market is delivering. So be careful. Should not be ending up with too much cash in hand, which is in a way completely unproductive.
Fair point. Sudeepji, one also has this practical as well as cerebral parting of the portfolios into what is a positional trading portfolio and what is a passive long only portfolio, which you probably look after every 6 months or 1 year and try to rebalance sectoral as well as positional calls. But for the trading portfolio ahead of the budget, what are the 2, 3, 4 sectors that you are looking towards the government where you just might see good quality news and effective policies coming out which might see these stocks move higher?
Well, Shilji, I see fertilizer as one sector where there can be a lot of measures taken by the government to help this sector. This is one space where I think there are a lot many reforms which needs to be undertaken, and government is aware of that. There are a lot of consultations happening. The excitement last week was unfounded because there were rumors that GST is going to be removed and things like that, which was unlikely. And I have mentioned publicly that many times that this is a bubble which is building around GST removal, and that's bound to come down. And that's what pretty much is happening as we speak today, because that GST Council didn't consider this. But the fact remains that structural changes and structural benefits may accrue to this sector going forward. And remember, along with that, I would also club agrochemicals. So fertilizer and agrochemical are sectors which will definitely attract government's attention, and they do deserve attention. And some kind of reform measures may cheer up the sector in a big way post-budget, around budget. So this is one sector we should not lose sight of. The other sector which I will also urge the investors to keep in mind is the entire FMCG and consumer durables sector, which is focused in the rural India. I'm not talking about consumer durables or FMCG products which are typical urban, but stuff which is focused in rural. Companies which are focused on rural India needs to be looked at. You say that government probably will look at giving SOPs to the rural market, and that pretty much is what we are also expecting. We are also expecting a good monsoon as predicted by IMD and SkyMet, and a good distribution of that as well. And if all these things fall in place, rural demand should come back in a big way and help these companies.
Fair point. So fertilizers as also the rural space. And if I may take this liberty to point out, look at the pumping stocks, companies that make pumps which are used in irrigation. I request the PCI to fire KSP pumps. Look at Shakti pumps. Please fire long-term charts so you can see already positions being built up on this. KSB in the morning actually hit a high, all-time high of about 5,050. This is, yes, see, this is how manufacturing companies and MNCs are being rewarded by the market. In a space of 1 year, the counter is doubled. Look at Shakti pumps, 4x 1 year, कमाल है. 3468 रुपए आपके सामने. And now look at roto pumps. So these are the kind of wealth that has been created by long-term shareholders. Remember, these are not trading positions. You can barely move in and out of these stocks without making your broker richer than you, because the difference between buy and sell would be so large that it would not make a successful trade, but it makes a phenomenal investment for you. So these are the kind of stocks that are doing pretty well. Of course, the rally that we've seen in Chambal, the rally that we've seen in RCF, FACT, NFL defies gravity and at times also defies sensible investing, but bhav bhagwan hai, kya kijiye. Sudeep ji, spaces where one should stay away from?
It may not be a popular view, but some of the counters in the defense sector really look richly valued. I'm not saying it's a bad sector. I'm not saying they're not good companies. All I'm saying is the valuation is a little unrealistic, and they've run ahead of time. So one has to be a little careful. And I would also point out here that, winning an order doesn't immediately translate into P&L or balance sheet or anything. In defense, it takes a long time for an order to get executed. One has to remember that. And the valuations have really gone through the roof. And the only space in defense which I still find worthwhile looking at is defense electronics. And BEL is a good company there and can be looked at. But otherwise, I find this space a little too richly valued and avoidable. Similarly, I would say rail stocks. I mean, great sector, great things are happening, fantastic future. But valuation wise, I think I still feel uncomfortable looking at these stocks.
Yeah, and again, as I said earlier, this is the experience of 3 decades speaking. Uh, Fair point, sir. I mean, defense is only in the name. The stocks are in complete offensive as far as markets are concerned. And I'll request again the PCR to fire the long-term charts of Cochin Shipyard, Masgaon Dock in particular, HAL in definitely in particular, and people will see the percentage gains that have come in. Today of course is a quiet day for at least Cochin. Yes, see, 1 year return on Cochin is 2.65x, and this is not a 20 rupee stock. So you can see the kind of wealth that has been here. Masgaon Docks 2x 1 year, and if you pull it a little behind 3 years, it will be 10x in Masgaon Dock. Garden Reach 2x in 1 year. Again, if you show a 3-year chart, I don't know whether that's possible or not, it will be at least 5x. I am very sure on these 2 or 3. HAL 1 year is 43%, long term would be maybe 2 years is 2x. Very well taken points, sir. And of course, some parts of the railway space also exhibit this kind of frothy momentum. So these are two sectors which one must be very, very cautious if you are entering at current levels. But if you hold the stock, ladies and gentlemen, let the good times roll. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely correct. If you are holding, keep enjoying.
Absolutely. The party on Dalal Street seems to have no end as far as defense counters are concerned. But keep 1 foot out of the door. You should never pay the bill. One must always be very practical about it. Never pay the bill on Dalal Street. You may pay the bill for the party, but not for Dalal Street. That's a very costly bill that comes in. Sudeep ji, the other sector that's sort of come up in trade is the private banking space. Something that people like you and I have enjoyed for 15 years, but the rally somehow weakened itself over the last 3-4. It shows signs of optimism at least now. What would your top picks be in the private banking space and why?
Well, I think my top pick in private banking space will be the usual suspects, HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. I'll give you the reason for that as well, Sheil. I think what's happening is we should now move away from the asset quality. The improvement in asset quality has reached almost its peak. Further improvement is unlikely. The credit growth in the economy is happening. And if what we all are talking about, so much of capital expenditure, so much of private capex, so credit growth is bound to happen. Now, when does this credit growth get financed from? So there is a war for deposits in the market. And the bank which is able to successfully garner deposit, keep the CASA levels up, and the costs also down will benefit. Because remember, if your cost is high and loan growth is there, your margins are getting shrunk. So you have to mobilize deposits to fund the credit growth. On the other hand, you have to keep the cost as well down. So this can be handled by efficient, large private sector banks. That's our belief. And there, the top names obviously are ICICI and HDFC Bank. So of course, ICICI has been performing outstandingly over the last couple of years. Quarter on quarter, they are beating all the estimates on pretty much all the parameters. So there's no doubt. HDFC, I think it's turning around. After that HDFC Limited merger, the deposit mobilization, shortfall and things like that, I think they're getting over it and they have started getting their act together. And I will definitely bet on that. So HDFC and ICICI in that order will be my top pick in private sector banks.
HDFC, ICICI, ladies and gentlemen, is already at a record high today. The 1765 that you see early morning hit 1175, and this was an all-time peak for the counter. Of course, there have been no question marks at all on ICICI Bank and Axis Bank amongst the corporate set. This, along with SBI, has somehow set the trend for the Bank Nifty as well. But yes, there is value to be had on still to be had on HDFC Bank on simple PE, simple price to book. If you see for 10 years, you will see that even now they are trading below their 10-year PE and 10-year price to book as far as HDFC Bank is concerned. Sudeep ji, Kotak, 5 years of complete how should I say hibernation for a counter that in our lifetimes in 20 years has created immense wealth. What would your view on Kotak be?
I would keep it little behind the top banks. There is a conservatism inherent in Kotak, which is good, but they are probably missing out on a lot of opportunities because of that. That's point number one. Point number two, I think this deposit mobilization, which is the most critical thing for a bank now, and you'll see all analysts monitoring the CASA, the deposit growth, credit deposit. So see there, I think sheer branch network and aggressiveness works well, and I think their Kotak Bank will probably be few notches behind the leaders. And I will watch, wait, but not jump into Kotak Bank at this stage.
Okay. Fair point. In our markets, there's a crisis of plenty on a regular basis. रोज इतने सारे stocks चलते हैं, इतने सारे stocks fundamentally चलते हैं that yes, we should hold something in reserve for a bad day, and perhaps Kotak is one of those stocks which, ladies and gentlemen, over the last 30-year journey has created as much wealth for its shareholders as ICICI, Axis or HDFC Bank has done for its individual unit holders. But these are markets. Sometimes stocks go for sleep for 5 years, 7 years. Bharti did nothing for 10, Larsen did nothing for a decade, Hindustan Unilever did nothing for a decade, yet sensible investors held on, and in a span of 2-3 years all these stocks that I mentioned created more wealth over 12 years than what they did in how should I say, over the long term. So markets at some point of times converge. Earnings are what drive stock markets over the longer term. Coming back, Sudeep ji, to the mid cap and the small cap space, sugar, again something that's driven by budgets, again something which is under-owned, underappreciated, and completely ignored by the market for 15-20 months. Any picks in the sugar space, sir?
Well, Shell, there are a few things which are happening in the sugar, and I think they are fundamental. One is the ethanol blending approvals and ethanol blending targets. I think this is structurally good for the sugar industry, and I think the industry has cheered that in any case. The second is we have to remember that at least the general elections are over, and sugar is very, very politically sensitive commodity. And it affects the farmers, it affects the industry, it affects the consumers because the end product gets into the consumer price inflation. So it's a very delicate balancing by the government. As we speak, I think there was a flood in Brazil, and the global sugar prices are shooting up, and the pressure is on the government to allow more exports. If they allow that, the local prices will shoot up, and that will flare up consumer inflation. So it's a very, very delicate. Yes, I do like the sugar industry for long term, but predictions on the sugar industry for short term, I always refrain from. So if somebody has to, let's say somebody's taking 1-2 year view, yes, some of the top sugar companies can definitely be looked at. EID Parry can be looked at. Relatively, it is attractively priced, can be looked at for 1 year. But short term, I will not be able to predict anything.
Fair point. And Sudeep ji, with that answer, sadly the time draws to a close when we have to bid you goodbye. But as always, it's been a wonderful 20-21 minute chat. I hope you liked our questions as much as we loved your answers. And we hope we'll have you back again very shortly.
Yes, look forward to spending time with you again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice day, sir.
You too, thanks.
That, ladies and gentlemen, was Mr. Sudeep Bandhopadhyay, the top man at IndiTrade Capital. For the moment, let's focus on where the markets are. Very, very strong move coming into mid caps and small caps. Let me just highlight a couple of stocks which are doing very well in the Nifty Mid Cap 100 index, and the top gainers are Tube Investments of India, 8% higher, 43.15. A strong move coming into CG Power. Again, this is a subsidiary of Tube India, 5.5% higher, 717 rupees. Prestige Estates fundraising has enthused a lot of investors, and at this point of time, on a volume of about 24 lakh shares, the counter is abuzz with 3.6% gains, and of course, needless to say, this is almost a record high for the counter, 2054 for you. Apart from Prestige, there is fundraising happening in Sobha Developers via a rights issue at about 1650 rupees. Sobha has also shot up in last week's trade, and apart from Sobha, there's Prestige that's doing pretty well. Godrej Properties from the same space, 2.35% higher, 3077, and of course a very, very strong move coming into Cummins India. A digit change here, now in 4,000 rupee territory. The counters buzzing 2.8% higher on a volume of 9 lakh shares. Joining us on the show is Sakshi, and also joining on the show is Kush. But I'll welcome Sakshi first.
Good afternoon, Shell. Well, yes, we do have some recovery from the bottom as far as the markets are concerned. Even the broader markets are now turning green, so that's a bit of the positive. More and more stocks coming into the green fold as far as the Nifty stocks are concerned. The Nifty itself is now at 23,520, so we do have that 23,500 back on the Nifty. But I think what's concerning is that the India VIX has shot up about 7.6% higher above the 14 odd levels yet again. It was dwindling for the last few trading sessions, so keeping quiet and not really disturbing us, but it's the India VIX which has now moved to the day's high point as well. Let's understand from Kush what it really means. Kush, good afternoon to you and welcome to Business Today Television and on Market Today as well. Are you concerned with the rising VIX, or is this par for the course and this will be settling very soon?
Good afternoon and thank you for inviting me on the show. Definitely, it's a little bit of concern, but I don't think it's, pretty much concerning until we are sustaining about 23,500. I believe, the interest which was lost in options since last 2 weeks is coming back. That is the reason why we are seeing some weeks probably. But look at the charts of Nifty and Bank Nifty, recovery from the bottom level. So technically, maybe, if you look at the absolute change, you may see we are only 25 points positive on Nifty, but as a technical point of view, we are 200 points up from the bottom point of the day. So that is a pretty much strong point. So I think Nifty and Bank Nifty are much stronger, and I don't think we must be concerned of the VIX unless and until we are closing below 23,500.
Okay. Any two stock ideas that you can share with us, Kush? Where are you keeping an eye out on today?
So two stocks, one will go for high beta, HDFC Bank. I think HDFC Bank has recovered very good from the bottom levels, almost 20 rupees up from the bottom levels with heavy volumes. So a BTST trade on HDFC Bank future, it is trading around 1672. So stop loss can be 1655. Target for tomorrow would be 1710. One low beta stock, HCL Tech. I think IT stocks could do much better in coming days. So HCL Tech futures can be bought around 1440. Stop loss 1420. So 20 rupees stop loss. Target would be 1480 in a day or two.
Okay, got that. So that's the two stock ideas that Kush is really sharing with us. Kush, what about the entire power space? Is that looking positive to you? Power Grid has moved to the top spot as far as the Nifty is concerned. Anything else that you can spot here that you'd like to highlight? Is the entire space buzzing again?
Definitely, Power Grid is looking good to me, but still I'm not much confident on the PSU pack as a whole, because after the 4th June sell-off, they are not gaining such momentum. So maybe as a trading perspective, I avoid Power Grid. Yes, definitely Tata Power is looking good at the lower levels. So I think for a short-term trade, Tata Power can be bought at current levels around 436. Stop loss would be 428. First target 445, above which we may see 450 levels in this week.
Okay. Well, apart from this, something I'd like to highlight for all our viewers, I had checked this in the morning trade. Remember, the textiles space is something that I had mentioned. Zodiac clothing is now at a 20% circuit, and there are several others that have moved higher. So you have Bombay dyeing that's up by about 10 and 10.5 odd percent right now. You also have Mohit Industries, some of these stocks that are moving up, Vardhaman, some of these textile based stocks that are again buzzing in action. Raymond was higher in trade. Let's look at that, how that has pulled up. Yes, Mohit Industries is now at 11.8%. So some of these stocks which are rarely discussed, but the entire space is buzzing. Kush, have you taken note of the momentum in the textile space of late, last week onwards, and is this a space that you would like to continue to buy?
Definitely, textile looks good to me, and we are seeing a momentum gaining back. KPR Mill is on my watch list. I think a mid cap stock KPR Mill. It's a low beta stock, but I think it is in a good uptrend on the weekly charts. So as a positional trader, I will buy the stock with the stop loss of 15 days average, which is at 850, and target for next 2 or 3 weeks can be around 945. So KPR Mills would be my preferred stock for trading in a short-term trade.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is how the markets are structured at 2:30 p.m. Another 1 hour left as far as trade is concerned on this Monday afternoon, which has started on a muted foot. Remember, early morning there was about a 100-point downtick on the Nifty in opening trades, and it had gone all the way down to 23,350. And from then on, it's been a 200-point journey. And this is exactly the only trade available within the index, which is you buy the dip. And as long as there are no other triggers, what will happen is that either the index will open higher and then flatten out, or it will then open lower and then probably climb towards its day's high. In any case, 23,600, 23,550 are very, very strong resistances in terms of Nifty's option trades, option chain, and that is something that needs to be observed. On the Bank Nifty, which is now moving 30 points higher, 51,688. Early morning downtick was 400 points. So you see this 51, 140, 150 range that was tested, and that's the uptick that has happened. At the same point, please keep an eye out India VIX, what Sakshi pointed out. Remember, even as indices are flattening out, the volatility in the market is increasing, because again we are approaching an event, which is the national budget. So please be very, very careful on the long side. The only sensible trade at the moment is buying the dip on the indices, but sectors are abuzz with gains. Look at the railway space today. Two stocks, Sakshi, that I'd like to mark out are of course both from the public sector railway space. A record high on Railtel, 4% higher at about 497. Smart gains coming in on Titagarh wagons, again a record high, 2.3% higher, 1619. And of course, who can forget IRFC, 177.23. But the day's high on IRFC was even higher. Let me just mark the stock for you. The high was 181 rupees. So that's how markets are structured at this point of time. Stocks that are showing profit booking within the railway space are Container Corporation, 3.5% lower, 1052, and of course 2 percentage point dip on Jupiter Wagons is nothing to be worried about, 682. I'll request the PCR to fire a long term chart of Jupiter Wagons. One must realize the kind of money long term holders have made on this stock. Jupiter Wagons, JWL, PCR. This is a recently listed stock that came into existence. The less hospital stocks we show, the better it is. Yeah, 1 year 3x return. यानी कि June 23 में this was for 160 rupees. Wow. Even when our friend Franklin Templeton's gentleman spoke, at that point of time the stock was 440. Dr. Mark Mobius.
Oh yes, he had spoken about it, like,
Yes.
and he was choosing some 3 stocks that he had selected.
And one of them he mentioned was Jupiter
Wagons.
This was less than 2 months ago, and at that point of time the price was 440. That's how I remember it. And so a 2% downtick today, nobody should be worried about. So that's how it is. And I'd also like to mark volumes on RVNL and Railtel. They are beyond the pale of normal counters. So today's volume, Sakshi, is 3.79 crore shares, and 5-day average is 2.84 crore, in which Thursday's volume was 7.54 crores. So please keep in mind that these breakouts are happening on very record high volumes, and therefore ahead of the budget, that's the tailwind, and very strong volume and price delivery, that's what one needs. 5-day average of delivery, Sakshi, is 72 lakh shares. Wow. On Friday, the delivery that was picked up was 1.64 crores. So that's nearly 80-90% higher. Please keep these 3 data points in mind: price, volume and delivery, when you look at breakouts and when you look at tailwinds. Once you study those, the 4th thing you don't have to do anything at all. Kush, what's your favorite railway stock?
So it's IRFC. I think IRFC is a stock which is about to give a breakout of a ascending triangle on weekly charts. Around 180 is the neckline, which means if we break above 180, we trigger a new rally, and the target could go up to 240, and the stop loss would be around 176 after we break out above 180. So I think IRFC is still on a radar. Still there is some trigger left. So I would buy IRFC at current levels.
Yesterday's volume, which is Friday's trade on IRFC, I'm just requesting the PCR to fire maybe a 1-week chart. Sakshi, was 9.67 crore shares, and of this 27% got converted to delivery, 2.64, and today's volume is 4.4 crore shares. We still have about 55 minutes to go. Let's see how it ends, but please keep these counters in mind. Sakshi.
Right. Well, there are several other spaces also hogging all the limelight today. Let's begin with the auto ancillary pack. Again, the entire bearing makers, auto ancillaries, they're also buzzing in trade. So Menon Bearings is up 10.5% today. Lumax Auto is up 6%. Sharda Motors is up about 5.5%. You have Lakshmi Precision, that's up 5% as well. Minda Corp is again up 4%. Sundaram Fasteners 3.6% higher. Shanti Gears, you have Tube Investments. The entire space seems to be a buzz with all the action. Yet again, momentum coming back on a whole host of these stocks. Your sense, Kush?
Yes, definitely. Overall, if you look at markets today, we are getting some momentum, and stocks, all mid-cap stocks, strong mid-cap stocks are buzzing. Even something like BBTC is buzzing, Tata Investment is buzzing. So overall, I think all the mid-cap stocks are gaining momentum, which is a good sign. Until now, since the 4th of June, mid-cap stocks were not showing much strength on the volume side. But we can see volumes are coming back. So that is a very good sign. Just now, just the last hour is we are waiting for the confirmation. So crucial last hour today.
Crucial last hour today, that's the word coming in. Okay, let's see what else is buzzing. Remember the entire paper space we had touched upon? Yes. All of those are buzzing. S. Chand and Company, JK Paper, Ruchira Paper, Pudamji Paper, West Coast Paper, you name it, and all the paper stocks are up into the green, and many of them up by about 5.5% as well.
What's West Coast doing? West Coast?
West Coast Paper is at 2.7% higher, 698 right now for West Coast. It's still away from its 52-week high, which is 815, but about 115 odd rupees away from that one. Your sense, Kush, paper stocks?
Yes, definitely. Today we are witnessing some strength. So overall, I'm bullish on paper stocks. So one of the chart which I like from the paper industry is JK Paper. Today with volumes, it is breaking previous highs. So I think JK Paper, it's a bit lower from the day's high. So one can do a BTST, a risky trade, of course. 530 can be a stop loss. Target would be 555 for tomorrow.
Okay, let's go back to West Coast paper and have a nice battle with Sakshi. Sakshi, if everything is at a 52-week high and record high, what will we do tomorrow? So, ladies and gentlemen, I will request the PCR to file a long term chart of West Coast paper. The reason why I point out this is there is still space to be had. Yes, all time high is somewhere in the vicinity of 790 or so, and the very gentle point I am trying to make here is that here is a stock which if you look at the fundamentals is trading in a single digit PE in a market that is at a record high. So, these are ladies and gentlemen homeworks that you should do between 3:30 in the afternoon and 9 a.m. next day morning. Price earnings ratio, Sakshi, 6.8 on West Coast paper.
Okay.
Market capitalization of 4,700 crores, and I will tell you the top line. Just a moment. 12-year earnings, 12-month earnings are 700 crores.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
and market cap to sales ratio is 1:1. So, 4,930 crores. Okay, actually, so sales are less than market. It's 1:1. 4,500 crores is the top line, and 4,700 crores is market capitalization. अभी और 700 crore profit है. So, this is the kind of ignoring quality is what is happening in parts of the market, and it's not only in paper, that's true for sugar, single digit PE for stocks that are showing hundreds of crores of profits, and this is where the discrepancy is, which essentially means Sakshi and I have a lot of work to do over the coming months. बहुत सारे ऐसे स्टॉक हैं जो अभी रिकॉर्ड हाई पे नहीं है, 52 वीक हाई की तो बात छोड़ दीजिए. Almost 200 crore rupees debt, which is just nothing. 1,400 cash on the balance sheet. ये हाल है.
Very interesting.
कुश जी, आपके तो नाम में ही पेपर है. कुश से ही तो कागज बनता है. कुश जी, मैं गलत तो नहीं कह रहा संस्कृत में?
Sanskrit, definitely.
अच्छा, आप बताइए वेस्ट कोस्ट पेपर में क्या हो रहा है?
Definitely, West Coast paper, I think momentum is pretty much high today. Volumes, as you rightly said, we are witnessing good volumes, sir. But I'm a little bit just nervous. कि last hour में क्या होगा? This is like IPL over last over. We know the target is easy. We are going to win, but still I'm waiting for that close.
सर, पेपर स्टॉक में आप आईपीएल मत लाइए सर, वो डिफेंस और रेलवे में रहने दीजिए. ये 5 डे मैच है.
but sir, already they are have performed well.
Yes.
So indicators are in the overbought zone. Of course, it's not like that if we are in overbought zone, we won't move ahead. But थोड़ी risky factor हो जाता है ये levels.
Sakshi.
True. The other space, like Shell said, defense and railways, that's the one that's buzzing. So within defense, I'll speak to you about the shipbuilder stocks. No let up in Garden Reach, 7% higher in trade, and it's been consistently moving since last 1 week. And many days it has also touched even double digit gains, some of them at a 20% upper circuit as well. CMEC is up 6%, Gujarat Pipavav 4% higher, Great Eastern Shipping Corporation 3% up, Dredging Corporation is up 1.5%. The entire space seems to be abuzz with action. How are you looking at, of course, Mazagon, Cochin, and these are some of the stocks that we continue to discuss, and they have continued to move. So I'm just trying to see below the surface. How are you looking at some of these stocks?
I think all the Cochin shipyard, they all are trading at a good support of 5-day average. Today we have seen some profit booking from the higher levels, but if you do look at the technical supports, so 2110 is a good support on Cochin shipyard. So maybe I would take a risk of last 30 minutes trade and go long on buy Cochin shipyard. Stop loss would be 2110. If we get 2155 today, the intraday trader can book it or else take it for BTST. I think 2250 is on the card in next 2 days.
Okay, got that. We'll keep an eye out on that one as well. The auto space has geared up and 0.6% of a move on the Nifty Auto Index. Let's see within the space which are the stocks that are actually doing very well. M&M again 2% higher. 2899 for this one. Remember last week there were a slew of brokerage houses reports with targets of 3300, 3400, even 3500 for the stock, and the stock there is no let up. Ashok Leyland is up by 2%, Bajaj Auto, Hero Moto, so two wheelers, four wheelers all moving in tandem. TVS Motors is up, Eicher is up by half odd percent again. Auto space, how are you looking at the momentum here? And your top stock M&M has now moved to the top spot on the Nifty, 2.08% higher.
M&M is going to move further. So if anyone is having it since the morning trade, you can keep it for tomorrow. But fresh auto stock which could start a rally is Tata Motors. I think Tata Motors has been quite an underperformer compared to benchmark index Nifty and also Nifty Auto. So I think the one can buy at current levels with the stop loss of 945. I believe 940, 45 is a good support zone. We may get sharp short covering up to 980. So for a day or two, I will go with Tata Motors at current levels. Of course, M&M is looking good, but for fresh entry, Tata Motors is looking more attractive.
Sakshi, one more stock I'd like to mark, which is deep value, and this is something to be looked at. This is Pondy Oxides, POCL, ladies and gentlemen, as far as the stock quote is concerned. Again the same thing, and this one is even more juicily valued. Revenue is 1540 crores, top line is 1000 crores. I'm talking about Pondy Oxides, ladies and gentlemen, the POCL would be the quote. It's up 8% today, and again it's a record high. This is अच्छा चलिए कोई बात नहीं, अगर है ही नहीं तो जो पर्दे में है उसे पर्दे में रहने दीजिए, ऐसी क्या बात है, कोई और स्टॉक के बारे में जिक्र कर देंगे. लेकिन अगेन एज आई हैड मेंशन्ड, इट्स अ डीप वैल्यू स्टॉक and profit making company, trading at a discount. Sales are higher, market cap is lower, and these are things that the market is not looking at the moment, and the stocks are doing pretty well. So please keep an eye on Pondy Oxide as well. I'll tell you the price that has happened. It's 8% higher and at 837, and in the last maybe 3-4 sessions it's appreciated dramatically from 650 to 850. Sakshi.
Right. Let's look at the F&O space then to see what is buzzing. Jubilant Foodworks is now inching higher, 4% uptick for this one. After a long haul, again there is a lot of momentum build up here. Astral Limited is again up about 4%. Cummins India is up by about 3.7%. Godrej Properties is another one, and Info Edge. These are some of the buzzers within the F&O space. Let's discuss some of these stocks from this space with Kush now. Jubilant Foodworks for you, Kush. Any trend that you can spot here? Is this bounce sustainable within Jubilant Foodworks?
Definitely, I think one should start booking profits on Jubilant Food on short term, because this stock has been a good uptrend since almost the low of 440 in the month of May. So I think, for a short term, maybe this is an extended rally, or, one can keep a trailing stop loss at 545. I think on the upside, 5 is a strong resistance, because we have been facing this resistance almost 2 years. So I would rather book profit, book out on Jubilant Food until and unless we are closing over 580.
Okay. Let's again look at some of the other spaces, realty space and Godrej Properties. What do you spot here, Kush? Is the real estate space coming back in focus?
Yes, definitely. As the budget is, we are approaching the budget time. I think infra and real estate is buzzing, and technically, if you look at Godrej property charts, maybe we are at life high, but indicators are poised for a new rally. They have been consolidating all throughout these last 2 months. So now indicators have given a breakout, and still, at RSI, this RSI level, one can expect 10 to 15% upside on a price level. So I think Godrej Properties are good chart to spot at current levels. 3000 can be a stop loss, which is a 5-day average. On the upside, we may witness 3400 very much soon.
Okay, flat as flat can be, Sakshi. Nifty at where it started, 23,500. Absolutely nothing. Nifty 500, 28 points higher, 22,264. Bank Nifty takes one breath and it covers 72 points. So nothing happening there as well. I think markets are waiting for far higher than us on the end of account, which is on Thursday, June 27th, and then only will we see some kind of a directional move coming in. तो त्रिशंकु की माफिक आपको निफ्टी और बैंक निफ्टी हवा में टिके हुए दिख रहे हैं. 23,300 23,400 के नीचे बुल्स आने नहीं देंगे और 23,600 के पार बेयर्स जाने नहीं देंगे. तो दिस लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन इज द कहानी फॉर द नेक्स्ट 2 or 3 days. Be that as it may, that doesn't mean that there is no action in the market. The action is into all those stocks where you see a very smart move coming in because of the run up to the national budget, and there are again the same stocks: fertilizer, railway, defense, PSU banking, and of course a whole host of stocks which are related to the rural theme, either via consumer side, which is the FMCG space, or the agricultural side, which is pumps. Sakshi, before you joined today, we mentioned 3 pumping stocks: KSP pumps, Shakti pumps, and of course Roto pumps. I'll again request the PCR to fire the long term chart of Shakti pumps. 3x in 1 year, and 3x is not on 30 rupees. There you go. 3x is on 1100 rupees. 1 year return is almost 5x. तो आप समझिए किस तरीके का भयंकर पैसा बाजार ने बनाया है. बट दिस इज बाय एंड होल्ड. इट्स नॉट एज इफ कि 10 दिन के लिए खरीदा 2 दिन बाहर निकल गए. तो जिस 2 दिन आप बाहर निकलेंगे ना
उसी में चढ़ जाएगा, फिर आप हायर पे खरीदेंगे.
20 के 2 सर्किट लगाएगा आपको जलील करने के लिए. कुछ जी आपके साथ होता है कभी, या सिर्फ गरीब लोगों के साथ ही होता है?
नहीं, पहले बहुत होता था, तो अभी सीख मिल गई है कि नहीं, वी शुड बाय एंड होल्ड टाइट. सो पोर्टफोलियो स्टॉक्स लाइक दिस आई डिलीट इट फ्रॉम माय स्क्रीन वंस आई बाय इट. मैं फिर हर महीने ही रिव्यू करता हूँ.
मैंने जिंदगी में एक चीज ये सीखी, कोई अच्छा स्टॉक हो उसे कभी पूरा मत बेचो. जिस दिन आपने गुस्से में पूरा बेच दिया या तंग आके पूरा बेच दिया, बस अगले 1 हफ्ते में
डबल.
ऐसा ही यही सेक्टर में से एक स्टॉक है सर, जेन इरिगेशन. सेम स्टोरी, अभी 1 साल से चल रहा है वो. तो अभी वो ब्रेकआउट के वर्ज पे है. अगर 40 पे किसी ने लिया, दे विल थिंक 80 में बेच दो. बट दिस इज एट अ वर्ज ऑफ ब्रेकिंग आउट, जेन इरिगेशन. आई थिंक वी शुड आल्सो कीप दैट इन माइंड. सर आपको याद ही होगा, ये स्टॉक का हाई 2016-17 में 300 के पार था.
जी जी.
नाउ दे आर रिड्यूसिंग दैट आल्सो.
अगर आप चाहते हैं कि ये डबल हो जाए तो पूरा बेच दीजिए, देखिए फिर क्या होता है. और आप रखे रहिए तो ये यही रहेगा. या अगर इसका मूड हुआ आपको और सताने का, तो ये 33 रुपए पे आ जाएगा. तो ये कहानी है, ladies and gentlemen of the markets. This is how they teach us life's lessons, that if you have a quality stock, never exit completely. कभी कभी साक्षी क्या होता है, जब कोई मेरा स्टॉक नहीं चल रहा होता तो मैं छोटी सी ना एक बलि चढ़ा देता हूँ. 10 शेयर बेच दो, देखी जाएगी जो होगा, और फिर वो चलने लगता है. सो जो हमारे मार्केट के भगवान हैं, उन्हें कभी कभी प्रसाद चढ़ाना पड़ता है, लेकिन पूरा प्रसाद मत चढ़ाइए, थोड़ा थोड़ा रुक रुक के चढ़ाइए, वरना कहीं ऐसा ना हो कि आप ही प्रसाद बन जाएं. ये अक्सर बाजार में होता हुआ दिखता है. 2:54, ladies and gentlemen, we are 36 minutes away from calling it a day on the first week of the last session of June expiry. Kush, you must be also noticing the rollovers that are happening in the markets. Anything sensible that catches your eye for the month of July, which might outperform and has done badly in June?
So I think IT stocks. I'm looking at IT stocks like likes of TCS and HCL Tech, and even Hindalco is looking strong. So these three stocks are on my radar for the rollover. I think IT stocks could give a sharp short covering for the month of July. So DCS is a safe bet, but I think HCL Tech can be on a high beta range.
Okay, let's again look at some of the other stocks that are buzzing. And I have a feeling all the holding companies are doing very well today, Shell. Bajaj Holdings, then some
Check
other
out
holdings.
Bombay Burma,
Bombay
check out
Burma is
Pilani,
moving.
check out TVS Holdings.
Kalyani
There are two or
Investment
three more
Company.
stocks, I'll tell you.
The entire space seems to be abuzz with action. Let's understand from Kush if he is also tracking this entire space. Kush, how are you looking at the entire holding company's perspective? All of them seem to be buzzing in trade today.
Definitely, as in the starting of the show, I mentioned BBTC is on my radar.
Yeah.
Bombay Trading Company. I think it is. Look at the volumes today. I mean, it's more than I guess 6x of last 7 days. So I think Bombay Burma is on my radar. I will definitely buy on dips. Around 1800 is the stop loss, and I think if this breakout sustains on a weekly or monthly chart, we may see 2600 in by Diwali.
Sakshi, I think if I remember correctly, there was a regulatory change that has happened for valuing holding companies. This happened last week. I'll find that thing for you. But we can look at Pilani Investments up 16%. Let's look at Sundaram Holdings. This is also moving as well. And of course, you've checked out Bombay Burma. The ones in NSE 500 are the ones that are we are able to track, but this is a sector-wise move. Yes, look at this one, and please also show TVS Holdings.
Yes, holdings. Yes.
I'm requesting the PCR to show TVS Holdings. That one will also come on your screen. Okay, chaliye koi baat.
JSW Holdings also is up.
Yes, JSW Holdings is also making its presence felt. There was, let me just find out what the norm was. Give me a moment, Sakshi.
Yes.
There's so many regulations that come in on a regular basis, no? तो सारा एक बार में याद नहीं रहता. मेरे ख्याल से च्यवनप्राश ज़्यादा खाना पड़ेगा. There's one on Alembic Limited, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Alembic Limited is the holding company of the Alembic Group. That should be in front of your screen in a moment. Yes, 3.6% higher. Sakshi.
Okay, got that. We'll again look at some of the other spaces. Cement space, is that interesting you at this point in time, Kush? How about stocks like Grasim, Ultratech, Ambuja, ACC, and even the mid-cap companies within the cement pack? Anything that is moving here that one should keep a track of?
No, I'm still waiting for one more day of momentum on the cement stocks. Definitely, we are looking good, but as I said, I'm nervous for last 30 minutes, so no new trades for now.
Okay, got that. Let's again look at some of the other stocks within the Nifty that are moving up. Okay, some other stocks that are buzzing within the internet space. Remember, I checked Zomato early in the morning. Brokerage houses reports continuing to put the stock at higher targets priced. 230 odd kind of a target came in today. Stock is up by 2.2%, 198 currently. Kush, Zomato for you, how are you looking at the stock? All right. Yes, Kush, please take it away. Yeah.
Sakshi, is Kush, yeah, let's first take Kush's view.
Zomato is looking good at current levels. I think it can be a multi-bagger stock. 180 can be a stop loss. The way they have turned around, blink it into profits, I think we can hit 240 mark in no time. So hold the stock, and as a disclosure, I'm holding the stock for long term. So I have not kept this on my radar. So this can be also a multi-bagger. So at least for short term, 2 months.
Multi-bagger.
Yeah, yes.
Oh. Okay, what are the targets that you are devising for this one?
For the short term, it's 240, but for if you can hold it for more than 2 years, 350 is on my radar.
Okay. Sakshi, I'm pretty sure you're not on Blinkit.
Blinkit?
Yes.
Yes, I do order every day.
You do?
I do. On
And then you're asking a multi-bagger hai ya nahi? Okay, I'm very old in this setup. I'm the oldest between the 3 people on the screen. I'm the last. Kush, are you on Blinkit?
Sir, I have been I have some emotional attachment with Zomato because when Zomato was a blogging site. So in 2010, I was a good blogger. I had a good follower on Zomato. So I have been, follower of Zomato, Blinkit, and even the new startup which they have brought up for B2B for restaurants. They supply fresh vegetables. So to all the restaurants which are there on the platform. So that is also picking up. They are in more than 100 cities right now. So I think there can be a multi-bagger.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen. For those who are not on Blinkit, I suggest please try it once, and then you will realize why there are higher and higher targets coming in for Zomato.
They have
Yes.
they were even delivering, sir, gold on the auspicious
Yes.
days.
Gold
They
and
deliver
silver
gold.
thereof. Yes.
Yeah, you get everything, stationery to gold.
Yeah, okay. That's very interesting. I only order, I mean, of course, I don't order anything. घर पे लोग करते हैं, लेकिन we don't
Groceries.
get gold or Blinkit. But I'm glad to know that it's available.
I did order one silver coin on Dhanteras because we were in office and
I
we
think you
couldn't-
were telling me.
I was
Yes.
telling you, yes. So that was the easiest way. In 10 minutes, you can get silver, authentic silver, gold at your homes as well. But Zepto is also like a competition, and that is also something. And the entire space seems to be in the thick
हमें
of
तो
action.
listed वालों से मतलब. I'll tell you a wonderful story, Sakshi. Somewhere between 2002 and 2007, when the entire telecom rally was taking place, there were 3 or 4 companies that had a very, very good set of multiple editions of monthly users, which is Bharti, Hutchison SR, what is now Reliance Jio was Reliance Communication at that point of time, and of course you had BSNL and MTNL. The
Interesting.
only stock that was listed was Bharti. So whatever positives would come on Hutchison SR, which is now Vodafone, whatever positives that would come on Reliance Communication, which is now Jio, would only be effective on Bharti Airtel.
Very
तो
interesting.
लोग दुनिया भर के लोग सिर्फ भारती एयरटेल खरीद पाते थे. अगर उन्हें हचिसन में भी कुछ खरीदना होता था, they would either buy the Hong Kong stock or they would buy Bharti. So one must really appreciate those companies which are listed. For years together, Sakshi, Infosys was listed and TCS wasn't.
Yeah.
So from 1994 to 2004, the rally on IT stocks was capitalized 2x by Infosys because TCS wasn't there. And the day TCS got listed, from then on and now, look at how Infosys has performed and how TCS has performed. Both of them have done well, but TCS has far outgunned
Yes.
Infosys. So please keep that in mind, that if there are unlisted players in the market doing well, then the listed player in the market will do super well.
Interesting. We'll continue to keep an eye out on this. Meanwhile, we'll also welcome our other guest now who's joining in. I think we have Brijesh Singh with us, Senior Technical Analyst at Stock Access, now joining in. Brijesh ji, good afternoon. How are you? And do tell us, what are you looking at into the markets now?
Good afternoon, Sakshi and Sailji. See, overall trend still goes for the consolidation for the Nifty, and the Bank Nifty has been considered. I'll just give you the brief regarding with the support and resistance. If I talk about Nifty, then 23,300 followed by 23,050 to 23,100 will be the support. Again, resistance by 23,800 we look, but it looked like it's been tough to cross the recent swing high that was of 23,660 or 667 around. As for the Bank Nifty has been considered, Bank Nifty again playing sideways to slightly towards the negative side, the trend is is giving an indication a little bit towards the profit booking side. The resistance lies again with 51,950 followed by 52,550, and support wise 51,100 followed by 50,700. So still sideways to go, and in coming week we are looking for the Nifty and Bank Nifty monthly expiry. Hope of 23,600 mark, or should we cross, otherwise I feel like it would be in this zone only, consolidation zone. 23,000 would not be get broken, I feel, for the Nifty, and for the Bank Nifty it's been considered 50,070 should not be get broken.
Fair point. Vijayji, any one or two stocks that you might feel make sense at current levels? We are already at 3:05 p.m. So maybe for today and tomorrow, anything that looks good?
I'll give you 2-3 stocks which looks good, 2 on the buy side, 2 on the sell side. So I'll start first of all with Jubilant Food. If we look out the hourly chart, the stock still trading with higher tops and higher bottom formations, still with the intraday high of 570 around. Current rate or dip till 565 can be used to go long with the stop loss of 555, play for the target of 589 to 592. Time frame to hold this counter would be at least 2 to 4 trading session. Second call for the long side would be Century Textile. It has made a base at around 2200 around, and today we have seen a stock jumping towards from that level. So 2,350 around the stock has been quoting. Current level can be used to go long with a stop loss of 2,200 and play for the target of 2,530. Two stocks which are feeling a pressure and they can move further downside. One is Aurobindo Pharma. If we look out the hourly chart or a little bit on the higher time frame chart, say 4-hour charts, then it is in the process of making a bearish engulfing candlesticks, which indicates a downside. 1,219 the stock has been quoting. So any rise towards the level of 1,225 to 1,230, one can go on a sell side with a stop loss of 1,270, and then play for the target of 1,180 followed by 1,160. And another call for the sell side would be RBL Bank. It is feeling pressures and it is trading near the important resistance zone, but the volume are increasing, which indicates the downside for it. 256 the stock has been quoting. So any rise towards the level of 260 zone, one can play a sell side in it with a stop loss of 270, play for the target of 250 to 245. All the stock which we have discussed, the time frame would be at least 2 to 4 trading sessions.
Fair point. These are the stocks to be kept in mind. Let's get the chart of Aurobindo Pharma also in place. A slightly longer term one, not the intraday price. Of course, the counters just marginally lower, 0.2% down today. And this is, yes, this is the price chart of Aurobindo Pharma. At the moment, it's slipping below 21 EMA, which is the difference between buy the dip or sell the rise. So sell the rise is now effective. Let's see how this pans out, but Brijesh ji feels that this is ripe for a downtick. The all-time high on this one was 1292, which we saw on 7th of June, and from then on it's a slight move towards negativity. Let's see how it pans out. 3:08 p.m. ladies and gentlemen, we have 22 minutes left, and the stock that's rising is Hindustan Aeronautics. Days high 2.85%, 53.18. Why am I not surprised at all? Let's now look at the volume picture, Sakshi, because the markets will call it a day shortly, and let's look at price and action along with positivity. So ladies and gentlemen, we'll do a different index today. Astral Pipes. Sakshi will remember this one at 1800 rupees. Our friend Mr. Sunil Shah was here from Turtle Investment about 6 months ago. He had mentioned it as one of his top picks. So from then on till here, over the last 3 months, this counter has appreciated 33%. Today 4.8% higher on very, very strong volumes, 18 lakh shares. Lupin. Now this is very interesting. Lupin in terms of percentage isn't much, but the volume is substantial, 27 lakh shares. The counter is in positive territory. We'll have that checked by Brijesh ji shortly. What else is moving? Jubilant Foods, we've just checked. This one I'll show you some interesting statistics. And Sakshi Suzlon. Brijesh ji, why don't you come in on Suzlon now? 3% higher. Remember, the circuit is 5. It was at 5% early morning. 54.77, and the volume is 2x 5-day average. 13 crore 81 lakh share. Brijesh ji, what are the longer term charts of Suzlon telling you?
So I think by Friday we have spoken to Switzerland. That time 53 ke aaspas tha, if I'm not mistaken, and we have discussed about 55 also. Now the stock is trading near the resistance zone, but the best part is the stock, as the price is moving up, so do the volume are moving up. So that indicates that it is having a strength in the counter. Regarding with the now support has been considered, we'll see that 52 should not be good, should not be get broken if profit booking is coming. So 52 would be, we should keep an eye on it. If someone has missed the rally, then I would be saying buy at present rate on any dip. But again, 52 should be kept in mind. Now the resistance on the higher side would be your 62 to 64. That is the next level where the supply would be coming. So dip should be used to go along with the stop loss of 52, and if that thing is broken, then the next level to watch would be 48 rupees.
Again, I'll request the PCR to share a long-term chart of Suzlon. Sakshi, what's I think we discussed this on Saturday as well. The price that you see is now for the first time moving above its 16-year average price, and this is via a tailwind, which is the government wanting to fund the viability gap requirements for wind farms to be set offshore in the seas of Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. So any dip here, ladies and gentlemen, keep an eye out. Although the stock has appreciated from 5 rupees to 54 over the last maybe 18 months, but the real move may have started from now on. Whether it's a buy or sell, please check with your independent financial advisor. But our point is to point out in the right direction, and that right direction is that long term charts are turning positive, and we've already seen a fantastic rally, but that does not mean that the move is over. Brijesh ji.
Absolutely, Salji, what you have talked, 2007 or 8, when the stock was been quoting somewhere around 400 plus, if I'm not mistaken. From there we have seen stock beating down, and 5 rupees around the stock was been quoting, and that's what you have said. And now it has moved up to 54 rupees. So already we have seen the stream on the higher side, but as we see that if you look out the weekly chart, it had made a base around 35 rupees. So that is the one positive sign, and after that we have seen stock touching the level of 54 or 55 rupees. Now if any corrections come or any profit booking would be coming, so as we have discussed, if someone is looking for a very short term time frame trading bet, say a week or a couple of weeks or for a month, then 52 and 48 are the level on the downside. We should be kept eye on it. And on the higher side, 63, 64 would be the first hurdle level where the supply would be coming, and if we are surpassing that level, then even on the chart it is indicating that it can move up to the level of 80 rupees. So I am not saying 80 rupees, but just slowly bets we should look out. So 52 and 40 are the support level. One can keep that thing in mind and play for the level of 63 or 64 odd level.
Okay.
Sakshi, just let me add one more point.
Sure.
These are the levels at which we started tracking PNB. 53, 54, 40, 45, and again it was the same story. Long term averages were being broken. Suzlon did a 5-for-1 stock split in January of 2008 at the peak of the global financial crisis, and it was a 5-for-1 stock split at 450 rupees. So it was at 2250 rupees, which is now 250. you'll have to multiply this by 5. So, you know, that's the erosion that's happened in wealth, 90%, even after the stock has gone up 10x. That, ladies and gentlemen, are markets for you.
Absolutely. But all the new investors who've been investing in it from about, say, 8 odd levels
Yes.
again, they believe that this is a turnaround story, and they
Yes.
believe that this is the biggest wealth creator of last 6 months, 8 months.
लेकिन पीछे देखिए कितने
Yeah.
लोग आंसू बहा रहे हैं अभी भी.
Yeah. True, true.
साक्षी, एक पैसे पे on Suzlon, on one paisa, not only on Suzlon but also for Idea Cellular, there used to be 1 crore seller. There was so much of pain at one point of time in Suzlon. But समय का चक्र है और मार्केट में भी चक्र ही चलता है. वो आपके सामने है. जो 2,500 की चीज़ थी वो आपको अब 250 पे दिख रही है, या यूँ समझ लीजिए जो 450 की चीज़ थी वो 5 रुपए तक आ गई थी.
स्टोरी चलती थी उस जमाने में सुजलॉन की.
सुजलॉन के नाम के पीछे भी एक बड़ी अच्छी कहानी है साक्षी. इट्स मेड अप ऑफ 2 गुजराती वर्ड्स, सूझ एंड लोन. लोन मीन्स पैसा and सूझ means सूझबूझ.
Very interesting.
That's how life is. I'll show you a story that I did on them on 2008. Mr. Tanti,
Yeah.
at that point of time, was the owner, CMD of the company. But again, like I said, we are only talking about price and price that has happened. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have to consult your financial advisor to do whatever you like. But our job is to highlight how prices move. Sakshi.
Okay, and Diana, one more space which I have subsector that's on the move is again the tourism and the hospitality space. One of the stocks that even Brijesh highlighted, Jubilant Foodworks.
Yes.
But tourism, yes, ITDC is up by 7.3% today at 815 odd levels. Country Club Hospitality, it's a small ticket stock, it's up by 6%. Tourism Finance Corporation is up by 3%. So the Thomas Cook is up, Indian Hotels is up, the entire tourism and also the hospitality along with Jubilant, that you have the other Westlife Food, others, etc. They're all also moving up.
What's Exigo doing today?
I'll just check. Yes, that's very interesting.
That's the seed of the rally.
Yeah, Exigo. Let me see. So this stock, it moved up from what? It's at 166 rupees. So
आज लाल निशान है.
आज लाल निशान है, 1.6% lower. But it started. The story was very interesting. It started with about what 93 rupees as an issue price. Got listed at a 50% premium at 138 odd levels, went up to 190 on day one itself, or 160 on day one and 190 the other day. It's at 166 right now, but it's moved, it's still holding up above that issue price and strongly so.
What was the issue price? I think double
93.
digit, right?
93.
93.
Yeah.
चलो.
So from that it's moved up.
एक और card trade को भी दिखा दीजिए आज.
Yeah, that is also.
There was an early morning transaction on card trade today, ladies and gentlemen. This is the other story, the other side of the picture,
It's
the
still
uglier
holding
one.
3% lower. It was down 3% in the morning also, so it's been just at that level. I think it dipped around 12 o'clock again at 3% lower. Your sense, tourism, hospitality space, what else is looking positive to you, Brijesh ji?
I just was watching your thing regarding with the tourism and finance has been considered. So the two stocks look good from that. Tourism was TFC 196 around. The stock is quoting in a shorter term time frame of the chart with all the important moving average. The stock is trading above that. So 182, 185 are the support zone. So one can keep that thing as a stop loss. Whereas on the higher side has been considered, it has the potential to go to 230 around. I feel that in a couple of week time frame we can see stocks touching that level of 230. Even Indian Hotel looks good on a trading bed is considered. If it holds 615 or 620 zone, then on the higher side 685 to 690 we can see a stock touching it.
That's really interesting. We'll again revisit a favorite stock that we've been discussing over the last 2 or 3 days, and that's Vodafone Idea, ladies and gentlemen. there is some news. I'm so sorry. Industars. Let's just see Industars again, ladies and gentlemen. This is again moving at days high. Yes, this is the company that I'm talking about. Some media reports suggesting that Bharti Airtel, which is the principal shareholder now in Industars, is again negotiating with Vodafone PLC, the global Vodafone, to buy a 3 percentage point additional stake in Industars. So at the moment, Bharti Airtel's holding is 49%. They bought 1 percentage point 1 month, 3 days ago from Vodafone, and with an addition of 3 percentage point stakes, if this happens, then Idea Towers, Indus Towers would be then treated as a subsidiary of Airtel, because it will have a 51% stake. Whether that happens or not, but keep Indus Towers in your radar. Brijesh, what are the long term charts of Indus Towers telling you?
So I'll just first of all speak regarding the short term. It's still trading with a range of 252 on the higher side, followed by 230 on the lower side. That is one point. So if it, so as we all know, if someone is looking for a trading smaller term trading bet, buy near the lower band of the support zone 320 around, and play for the target of 250 or 252. Whereas the if I look out the daily chart as well as the weekly charts, the trend is positive. If I say then 307, 315 followed by 320 are the support zone, which still is been intact and which indicates that it can move up on the high side. But as I've said, 352 above it, if it is giving a trading, we can see a fresh breakout in it, and it can move up to the level of 410 followed by 460. But for that thing, at least 3 to 6 month time frame should be kept for Indus Tower.
Fair point, ladies and gentlemen. Sakshi, 321. 9 minutes are left for what has been a consolidating day on the Nifty. I'll request the PCI to fire the intraday chart, and you can imagine the difficulty that Sakshi and I have to face on a daily basis, trying to find out stocks that are moving in a manner which is better than the Nifty. So days low 23,350 happened in the first 10 minutes, and then days high is where we are, 23,558. 200 point ki rally from days low but flat on the market. So ladies and gentlemen, in the morning commentary, always listen to a phrase, buy the dip, and whenever you see the dip around the weekly pivot or the daily pivot, that is the point to step in and remain in market for 20 minutes and then go back home. That's what the indices are telling you, and then Sakshi and I have to decipher आज क्या बात करें. ब्रिजेश जी, ये परेशानी हम आपकी तरफ डालते हैं. BTST या STBT, दो काउंटर.
नहीं, BTST ही करना चाहिए, because as trend is still towards the positive side. See, if we look out from last 4th of June when the election result came, we are making the highs, that is one point, and we are trading near the high zone, or I would be saying consolidation कह लीजिए, range कह लीजिए, वो हम higher zone पे ही pitch on कर रहे हैं. So and we are making the higher high. And as we all know, FMCG sector started moving up, then chemicals were there, autos were there, and the banking was a lagging. Now the private sector bank, when it started moving up, so still the stream is we left, and as I have told you, 51,950 is the first resistance zone of bank Nifty. If it crossed, then 52,500 would be the next zone, and if 52,500 around it comes, then Nifty would be trading somewhere around 23,700 or 22,800, and the resistance is 24,200 around for bank Nifty. So I'll say that play with the trend, use stop losses, and BTST would be the better word for trading.
Okay, got that. Well, Brijesh T, the other thing that I wanted to discuss with you is on the Nifty and the Nifty Bank for tomorrow. What strategies would you be devising? Which index do you see will be better off?
So if I see in both of them, if I compare both of them, then my bet would be for the Bank Nifty only. Bank Nifty, see in the 15-minute time frame of the chart, or even on the hourly chart, still it's been holding and it's been trading above the important moving averages. If Bank Nifty, if it doesn't break 51,300 and if it holds on, then I feel that we might try to touch that 51,950 and we might be surpassing. So tomorrow I feel that it might try to cross that level of 51,950 and it might try to touch 52,100 or 52,150. So one can see a long side in Bank Nifty.
Okay, got that. Well, we'll thank you, Brijesh, on that note, and for sharing all the thoughts with our viewers and the strategies as well. And we'll start winding up the show as well as the market trade for you. 5 minutes to go before the markets to shut shop. About 50 points of a gain for the Nifty. So it's definitely back into the green. That's a bit positive. 23,550 hopefully will stay with the Nifty, and that will be another positive. The Nifty Bank at 51,740 odd levels. An 80 point of an uptick, just about 1/10% higher in trade, but definitely off the low point of the day. Seems like that is what exactly we are going to be seeing in the close. We're better off from the morning trade because a lot of sectors, all the sectors opened in the red, but at least more than half of them are into the green now. With the autos leading the pack, about 1% higher in trade. It's the FMCG that opened also into the green and is holding on to those gains, about 0.7% higher. Consumer durables is up by 0.8% as well. Financial services, realty, pharma, infrastructure, these are the other sectors that are holding up. And within the broader market space, it is the mid caps that's ending with about 0.2% higher in trade, but the small caps absolutely flat with a negative bias. So a mixed close is something that you could see on the broader markets front. What did not do well? Private banks slipped away, about 0.07%, minor losses coming in there, and no participation from the IT space to about 0.2% lower for this one as well. Metals dragged, oil and gas, PSU banks, they lost ground in trade today as well. Let's look at the top movers on the Nifty then. It's M&M that held on strong, is now 3% almost higher at 29.21. So very strong move being seen on M&M. Power Grid, Shriram Finance, Grasim, Sun Pharma, Tata Consumer Products, Bajaj Auto, Hero Moto. These are the top movers as far as the Nifty is concerned. On the downside, IndusInd Bank, Cipla, Adani Ports, Coal India, Tata Steel, Reliance Industries also exerted some pressure, and Axis Bank. These were the top drags on the Nifty. F&O movers, Astral about 5% higher, Cummins India about 4% up in trade, Jubilant Foodworks 3.8% higher, Godrej Properties, Info Edge and HAL as well as among the top movers. On the downside from the F&O space, what did not do well was Alchem Laboratories, Steel Authority, Concor, Colgate, JK Cement and RBL Bank. These saw profits being taken off the table. The PSU index ending higher by about 0.5%, with HAL doing a very strong showing now, 3% uptick towards the closing of the session, 53.34. That could be the closing level of this stock. Power Grid, REC, BEL, NTPC, ONGC are some of the other stocks that continued to move up strongly. And the broader markets, of course, it's the textile space and the holding stocks that we've discussed ad nauseum. So Zodiac Clothing, Vardhaman Holdings, Pilani Investment, Kalyani Investment, Bombay Burma, these were the top counters as far as the Nifty 500 stocks are concerned.
Sakshi, just a note on holding companies. The reason why they are moving up with such ferocity and across the sector is that SEBI has introduced a new rule. Actually, holding companies always trade at a discount to their true value because of lack of liquidity, and the true value comes from holding of their subsidiary shares. For instance, in Pilani Investments, I'll request the PCR to fire the chart. Pilani Investments is the holding company of the Birla Group. Apart from the Birla Group, which is Hindalco, Ultratech Cement, AB Capital, ABRFL, Century Inca, Century Textiles, Pilani has a host of other investments also. So when you total those investments multiplied by the market price, you get a certain market value, market capitalization. All holding companies trade at a substantial discount to their actual value. So what SEBI has done is that it has removed circuit filters. it holds a special auction for all these holding companies for them to attain their actual worth, actual value. So look at Bajaj Holdings, look at Pilani, look at Bombay Burma, all of them are up in double digits. Look at smaller ones, TVS Holding we can't show you, but JSW. And Sakshi, what's really good is that there are one or two funds that I know who have these holding companies as their top 2 or 3 picks. So let me just find out that name. I distinctly remember one was there, and I'll get back to you. Look at Tata Investments also. Maybe that is also at a circuit limit. Let's see what Tata Investments is at, and that's the reason why you see this sharp burst in 1.9% higher. Okay, कोई नहीं, कल चलेगा. अब तो बाजार बंद हो गया, so nothing we can do. But like I said, these are stocks where you see a huge interest coming back in the market. Sakshi, let's call it a day.
Absolutely, and with that we wrap up this very special edition for all our viewers, but do stay tuned as action continues right on the other side, beyond the world of stock markets as well, from the world of business and finance. So stay tuned.